All right. Welcome to the next episode. We are going to talk about, in this episode, we're going to do all kinds of really fun stuff. It might be a long episode, but we're going to talk about choosing a template in Divi rather. Again, the affiliate link is below. Like and subscribe to the channel. But we're going to talk about choosing a template. We're going to walk through how to guide prospective clients. We're going to talk about some of the pitfalls, and we're going to let's just dig right in. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to get after it. Let's see, pick up where we left off. All right, so let's choose full screen. You don't need to stare at my ugly mug at all. But the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to, in our WordPress dashboard, we're going to go down to pages. We're going to click on pages. Let's assume we're on our dashboard, and this is where we're going to start out at. We're going to hover over pages, and then we're going to click on add new. We're going to get into some design elements and a little bit of advanced stuff too. So I think we called this marketing agency defined, if I believe that was right. I'm going to go ahead and click off that because there's a couple of things that we're going to do as we go through this. Now, see how it shows an SEO score of 3. I'm going to walk you through all of this. So I'm going to get back to the templates here in just a moment, but we installed as a plugin Rank Math, and that's analyzing our SEO score here. So we're going to scroll down a little bit, and we are going to click here, and we're going to do, what do we want to be known for on our home page? We want to be known for the name of the website, which is Digital Sherpa 360. Is that right? Yep, Digital Sherpa 360. Now I put that in here, so notice it bolded it here. It upped the SEO score here to 39 out of 100. And is this pillar content? Yes, pillar content identifies the most important content on a website, and it's going to tell us all of the things that we need to do within this page in order to make it ideal for ranking in Google. There's a schema tab, and we're going to make sure this is, let's see, this talks about what kind of schema we want to apply, and we want to make this an article because that makes the most sense. It's going to give, all of this stuff. It's going to automatically set up the schema. We're going to talk about schema down the road a little bit, and then we would want to add an image in here. We can add an image here for Facebook and Twitter. We need a featured image here. We need all kinds of good stuff. And we're going to talk about page layouts. All right. So we're going to go back to general. And then the very next thing we're going to do is we're going to click on edit snippet. And so it's giving all of this automatically. It's automatically setting it up here. And notice how we're just into the green. We've used 45 out of 60 total characters. Some people will tell you use between 55 and 60. Doesn't really matter to me. For SEO purposes, I would easily argue that is not necessarily the case. It's whatever is the best cause to get somebody to your website. So now we need to describe this page. We're going to say welcome to Digital Sherpa 360. We are glad what are we? Okay, so we have 160 characters, 37 out of 160. We're going to talk about keyword research. We're going to talk about all that stuff down the road in other episodes. Like and subscribe to the channel, and you'll get notified when we actually bring those episodes out. But just for intents and purposes of doing this exercise, we're going to say we are a highly experienced digital agency which focuses on client satisfaction. Is that a good sales And then let's say we want to put in a location. We are located in my hometown of St. Paul, Minnesota. All right. Now it says we're at 151 out of 160, which is the other thing here is not only how many characters, but the width. Is it going to be truncated? So if I do located in St. Paul, now we're back into the green, right? So we've met all of this standards here. Use the focus keyword in the URL. This is going to be the home page. I'm going to show you how to assign the home page. Use all of the stuff that hasn't been done yet. Okay, so we're going to leave this alone for just a moment, and then the very next thing we're going to do is we're going to click here where it says use the Divi builder. All right, let it load up. And the very next thing we're going to do is we can build things from scratch. We can clone existing pages, which is going to come into, it's going to be important down the road. We can choose a pre-made layout. So we're going to choose a pre-made layout. And this is why you can actually get away with, that's not a good word, but you can use Divi as a tool to start pumping out websites for small and medium-sized business owners as you're grasping the marketing side or whatever your other offerings are that you're looking to move into. You can start building websites pretty damn quick, and you can start making money. Okay, so I would definitely include web design services as much as it can be a pain in the rear. I would definitely offer web design services as you're building up, as you are growing, or you get to a point, maybe you're hiring designers, maybe you're offshoring it, or using other vendors that are in the design aspect, or really want to focus on design. Maybe that's not what you want to focus on, but it is a good avenue to make some good money, to make introductions, to get your foot in the door. Because if you compare what they already have, it's an easy conversation, because they're generally, even a small business owner is looking for a better brand presence online, so you can give them that. All right, so one of the nice things, I mean, if you look at it, Divi has 181 layouts to choose from. And don't let this be misleading as far as how they name them, because how they name them doesn't necessarily make sense. I would go through and determine what you want, or what a client wants, or a potential client, and then choose the form and format. Because even if it's a wedding, this could be for a wedding, or it could be for, let's say, an influencer, or I don't know, anybody who's looking to push out an event or something of that nature. This could be a good layout for them. Now, as you go through, I actually chose ahead of time. I'm going to use this template, and I'm going to walk you through it. So you can click on it, and you can actually click through each one of the pages. So with Divi, it's always going to show you the landing page as the example. I want to look at the home page. I want to look at the about page. Is this a form, function and flow, case studies, project pages? Because as you're building this up, it gives you a pretty damn easy layout, a pretty good, easy layout to follow. All right, so I'm going to choose for this, because I'm showing you how to set this up. I'm going to go ahead and use this layout. And it'll take a minute to actually upload it. My computer is working overtime today. We're actually rendering videos. I'm rendering videos in the background, so it may take a little bit longer. There it is. All right. So now it's preloaded this layout. One of the other nice things with Divi is it not only preloaded the layout for us to work on, but it also automatically loaded all of the images into the media library. And we're going to talk about why that's important here in a moment. So now we have the layout there, and we're going to click here where it says build on the front end. This is the beauty, right? So one of the things within website design is everybody wants a front end visual builder, and Divi gives that to you. All right, so Here we have, see how we have our preset here, where it kind of put in the presets, but it didn't really do a great job. And we're going to go in and change that. So we are a full service creative marketing agency, design agency. We literally can go through here and change everything that we want to change. Okay. See how we have some stuff here that really doesn't make sense? Let me show you how this works. And I'm not going to get into every single design aspect, even though it's important. So one of the things that I noticed is I have to make changes here to the add to any because it's showing down here in the widget. We don't want to do that. That's not this episode, but let's go ahead and start from the top. So here I have some decisions that I have to make. So eventually that's going to show up here within purple. Our standard button here is supposed to be purple, and then when you hover over it, it's going to be green. Okay, so I want us to remember that as we get into the design function. But let me see if I can remember these. So you have an area, or let's see, row, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I'm not going to go through all of it. So we have a couple of things that we want to change the design on. Here, I'm sorry, section, then this one is row, and then this one is element. There, or module. Gotcha. All right. So if I want to change this entire area, see how when I hover over it, it automatically encompasses the entire blue area. That signifies everything that is within the section, and the section is the largest area. And then we can go into row. Now, if we're looking at row, we also have areas within the row. So in this case, it looks like the section and the row are the same area. And then we have the module, which does this specific area. All right. So I would encourage you when you're actually starting out and you're just getting into the design phase and you're just doing all of these things. And I mean, there is so much to learn. There's a tremendous amount to learn. And the reason why I'm pushing you in this direction is because it gives you the opportunity to maximize your return on your time and get into that space faster. Because right now you should be designing a website. Because if you're in the digital realm, the very first thing people are going to look at once you make your introduction and you're going after business and all of this other stuff is they're going to look at your website. And if your website looks like shit, they're not going to call you back. They're not even going to tell you that they're not going to call you back. They're going to ghost you. You're going to call over and over and over again. Hey, I just really want to talk to Tom or Bob or Mike or Susie or whoever it is. Yeah, they're not in. Okay. The reason why is because they did a little bit of homework on you. They didn't trust what they saw. So let's get past that hurdle. All right. So here we have all of this information. If we want to change this information here, the way that we do that is we're actually going to go into the module. Let's assume we want to change this right here. Let me back up. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to choose this gear here, which is the settings, module settings. So let's assume, let me drag and drop this over so I can actually see it work in real time. Let's say we want to change this to marketing agency. That's probably a little bit too defined because I would want this to say full agency. We don't want to push ourselves or put ourselves in a box, if that makes any sense. We are a full service agency. All right. So we've just changed that. If we went a little bit too far, so let's assume we did, whatever that looks like, you can change the parameters. I would recommend staying within your work area so that you don't have to create a whole bunch of crazy changes and design asset changes, et cetera, et cetera. So we are a full service agency. We're going to go ahead and click OK. And then we're going to go down here to the next section. And here I want it to actually say exactly what the company name is. So what was it? Digital Sherpa 360. Well, that doesn't look right. Let me X out of that. There's a couple of things here. See how this is different? I want to do it the same way. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put digital. I'm going to go down here and I'm going to put Sherpa 360. Okay, so this is all on the same line. I'm going to go ahead and change out X and Y and Z and all of these things. All right, now here, what I'm thinking about here, and I'm going to take you out and I'm going to upload this into Photoshop and I'm going to do all of these other really cool things. But I kind of already know what I want that button to look like. But let's come back to that. All right. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to save this as a draft. So I clicked here on the three buttons. Let me do that a little bit slower. I'm going to X out of here. See how it has the three dots here? I'm going to click on the three dots and I'm going to save that draft. I don't want to publish yet. All right. Bear with me. The very next thing that I want to do is I'm going to right click here because I want two instances. So I'm going to right click here and I'm going to open that link in a new tab so that I have two instances open of my WordPress dashboard. And then I'm going to go into media. And I have all of these options. So what does this tell me? Okay, that tells me that this in the background here is not an image. There is an image behind it. Okay, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here and I'm going to click. I need to find this area. Okay, let me back up here. I'm going to click on the section settings. And then I'm going to find the background. And I don't see it here. Okay. Do you? I don't see it here. So that tells me that it's here, which is within the row, which is the exact same area. And see how I have two column structures. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the gear here. I'm going to go to the background here. And I still don't see it. Do you? I don't see it. So let me go back. All right. There it is. There's the background color. So if I click on the gear here, I'm hovering over this area. I'm going to click on the gear here, and this shows me that it's a full, that can't be. Well, that's fine. All right, so that's showing me this here. I'm going to go ahead and change this to purple because purple matches, right? Or we could change it to green. Do we want to use green or do we want to use purple? I don't know. Let's use purple. I kind of like that. I kind of like that purple. That might become our focus color. So now I've changed this to purple. You can still see the background here. I'm going to go ahead and leave this information because it has a nice parallax scroll here in the background. But see how this, I don't really know how I feel about this, but I have dark colors on dark colors. So I need to change these. So I'm going to change this. And I'm going to, that's a paragraph. So if I click in here, it's going to show me that it's a paragraph here. I'm going to click on design. I'm going to click on text. And I'm going to make the text color our white. See how it just popped? So that's pretty slick. I need all of this to be white so it shows up well. I'm going to click here, paragraph, right? So this told me that it was a paragraph. By clicking into that space, I'm not changing anything. Told me that it's a paragraph here. I'm going to go into design. I'm going to click on text because text is a paragraph. And I'm going to choose my text color of white here. And now it's popping. Now the next thing is here because now this really doesn't even look good based on what we did, right? Because we changed it to purple. So we're going to, that's a heading 1. See heading 1. Heading 1. So as I clicked into that area, it showed me what asset I need to change. I'm going to click on the design side. I'm going to click on heading text. I'm going to click on here, right? So now, it's defaulted. And then I'm going to choose a heading text color of, there's our white. Oops. We're going to go back to our content. And here's another trick. All right. I can also do it from here where I can choose my text color if I just want a basic text color, and I just change that to white. That doesn't look too bad, right? Everybody's taste is different. And we're just doing this for the purposes of design, okay? So here we're going to identify what those three items are, and we're not necessarily going to go through that today, but we can do the same thing. We can just literally click in here, go into our module settings, UX research, see where it says image and icon. We can click here. Do we want to use an icon? Yes. We want to go into the design mode, click on image and icon, and change that over to our color, our purple, right? Digging that purple. I like that purple. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of purple normally, but I like it. Going to do the same thing here. Since we already know where that's at, we're going to click over here, image and icon, change that to purple. We could actually copy and paste. I'm not going to show you how to do that because you can run into problems. But again, we're going to go into design mode, change that to purple. Boom, there we are. Our latest work. See how it does this thing right here with this hover, this cool hover effect? That's pretty slick. The one thing that I want to do to make sure that all of this is accurate is see how they're using their gray? I want to use our gray. Okay, so it's a little bit darker, but it's going into our brand style guide. And then it shows latest work. We're going to click into this area, see how it's a heading 2. We're going to click on design. We're going to click on heading text. We're going to click on H2. And let's change this to our black. We could do our white. See our white, there's not enough contrast there. So we're going to choose our black. And boom, there it is. All right, so we've got our purple. We've got all of our basic foundation. We're starting to look pretty good. We've got our icons. We're going to go in here. We're going to click in this area. We're going to choose our hover overlays. So our background color is not set. We don't need one because we have an image here. And then we have our design and we have an overlay. So see where it lists our color, hover overlay color. We're going to make that purple. Overlay icon color, we're going to change that to white. So there's a nice transition here. Okay. Now, one of the things that I'm going to change is I don't like that being a solid color. I think that looks kind of junky, you know? So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to scroll down here and I'm going to change the transparency to about 80. All right. I like round numbers, 80. Now, see how it's showing a background there? Should we try 70? I don't know. Let's try 70. We could make that black. Let's do 70. See what 70 looks like. Ooh, look at that. That's pretty. All right. That's pretty right there. So we're going to change that. Now, remember the 70. Okay. So we're going to go ahead here. And you can learn all of this in the Divi blogs. And there's all of these people that are teaching all of this stuff all of the time in forums and everything else. But we're going to take this here. And I'm going to show you how to copy this information. So I'm going to click on those 3 dots. I'm going to copy the module style. Then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go ahead and paste the module style. I'm going to paste it again over here. And I see how quickly I just did that. So now I have all of this really cool stuff. It's a cool, design. It has cool pictures. I need to change this button. I'm going to click on the gear. I'm going to go into design. I'm going to click on the button. Use custom styles. Absolutely. Button text color. I want that to be white. I want the button background color to be purple. I want the button border width to be purple. See how it's doing it in real time? But now I have a hover overlay. Okay. And see that little junky thing right there with the icons? I don't know why people do that. But let's go back into this. All right. So we have a hover that we don't like. The very next thing that we're going to do is we're going to click here and look at our hover styles. Now we want our hover style to be, let's use that green. Okay, so button background, button text color. Let's make that our white. Let's make our background our green. Let's make our button border color. See how it's still on the hover right here? Let's make that green. And now if we go back over here, ooh, we have one more thing to fix. Okay, because we just don't want those button icons. Okay, so now we've gotten rid of it, and it, as you hover over it, it's transitioning to a different color. So the very next thing that I want to do, because I really like box shadows, is I want to put, if I click on the box shadow here, I can make that stand off the page a little bit. I can use different methods, whatever you like, right? You can use something like this. I don't really like that. Don't really like that. I mean, there's all these different things you can change. I kind of like this one because it adds a little bit of a shadow here, and it's causing this to jump off the page. We're going to dress that up a little bit more, but we're going to come back to it. So one thing I didn't fix here is, remember we talked about the border radius, and we chose 10 in the last video when we started doing that. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to click on button, and I'm going to find the border radius. Where's it at? There it is. It's 100 pixels, which makes it pill shaped. We're going to go ahead and make that 10 pixels, and it made it square shaped. Square with rounded corners. I don't know. That just looks more professional to me. All right. So let's go back all the way back up to the top. Let's go back up to this one. We didn't change that for this one. So we have this little jobber thing here. We're going to go into our design mode. We're going to click on our button mode. And let's see what we can do. Button text color, button background color. Let's make this, you know what? Let's make this, I kind of like the way it is. Okay, do you? I kind of like the way it is, but I don't like, what I don't like is, let's see, where's it at? Where's it at? I don't like that icon. Let's get rid of that icon. All right, boom, gone. The hover looks pretty good. Let's put in a box shadow. Let's make that the same box shadow so it has that little shadow in the background. What else can we do? Oh, border radius. Let's find our border radius, because we want that to match all the way through. Button border width and button border radius. Let's make that 10 pixels. Now this is matching all the way through the document. That looks, or all the way through the page, and that looks pretty slick. All right. Now, form and function, let's go ahead and go back up to here, because yellow, that isn't our color. We're going to go ahead and click here on that gear. For our section settings, we're going to click on our background, and then we're going to change that to purple. All right. Now, again, purple might not be your color. This is just from the standpoint of showing you guys some really cool stuff. So we've made purple that background here. That doesn't match. It doesn't contrast enough. So we're going to choose white. We're going to click on the gear. We're going to click here, and we find out that it's a heading 2. And boom, boom, boom. Click on our heading text. Click on 2. And change that to white. Okay. Do the same thing here. That's our paragraph, or just our general text. We're going to click here, and we're going to change that to white. All right, now we have this information here. We're going to change this. Name, field options, design, layout, text. Boom, 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 boom. Make full width, fields. Field background color, field text color. We're going to make this white. Let's make that white. We're going to click here. We're not going to do it this way. We're going to actually go in one by one, because what I almost did right there is I almost caused this to be, this would have been a name field, a name field, a name field. Okay, and I encourage you to learn Divi as you're going through. Let's see. So layout, fields, text color white, field focus text color white, our white. Click OK. Click on company. Do the same thing. Field options, fields, field text color, field focus text color. Click on OK. Field message, text color, and focus text color. And then the last thing here is it should show, let's see, button. All right. So we're going to go ahead and make our text color our white. We're going to make our background color our purple. We're going to make our button border color our white. We're going to change the border radius to 10 so it all matches. Gosh, we have that same little thing with that font icon or button icon. We're going to turn that off and see how we automatically have that hover. That's a preset that's already there. Okay. So all you have to do at this point, I mean, literally we're 30 minutes in. We're 30 minutes in with tutorial, and I'm already showing you just how easy this is. And you can literally have your homepage done in 30 minutes. What we're going to do here is I'm actually going to publish this. And I'm going to show you a couple of things. So let me go ahead and publish. Again, the way we get to this is we're literally going to click here. If it's 3 dots, we're going to go over here and we're going to click the publish. And now we have a published page. This also gives us the opportunity at this point that we can see what this looks like by clicking this button here. What is this going to look like on a mobile device? So Divi comes automatically, it's automatically responsive within their templates. You can change everything. This doesn't really look that good here. I would add a divider. I mean, you can add certain things as you're going through this. But again, we're looking at how do we pop up, how do we create a website? You just created a responsive website in 30 minutes. Here's what it looks like on a tablet. So you just click this button right here and it'll show you what it's going to look like on a tablet. And there it is. Again, I would add a divider in here. Okay. Let's actually go ahead and do that. I'm going to add in a divider. So you just click here to add a module. I'm going to go down here to divider. And within the design phase, so show the divider, I want to say no. So it's just going to be an empty space. I'm creating an empty space. I want to look at sizing. Oops, sorry. I want to go into spacing rather. And I want to create, let's say, 100 by 100. Okay. That doesn't really look right here, does it? Let's make that 200 by 200. Okay. So now we're seeing that parallax scroll in the background. A parallax scroll is when the background image, it's a clear overlay, and the background image is either moving slightly in contrast to the scroll, or there's a couple of different ways to do it. I'm not going to explain all of that. Now, if I want to see what that looks like, let's go ahead and end that here, or hit the OK button. I want to see what that looks like. That looks pretty decent. That looks pretty decent right there with the divider on mobile. And you can mess around with that. So you can see that looks pretty slick. So that's somebody's mobile experience. And then you're just merely going to go in and change the information that you want to change on that page and make it your own. And literally you have a web page. You can have a web page done in an hour. I would leave this information here. It looks pretty slick. Let's look at what that looks like on desktop. Okay, so we're going to go back to our desktop. Let's go ahead and scroll up. Still looks good right there. I mean, it looks pretty decent. Now let's go ahead and save this information. Save. Boom. The very next thing I would encourage you to do, since you just saved a live page, is I would go up here because we have our W3 total cache, and I would purge your cache. Boom, boom, boom. All right. So the very next thing that we're going to do, because we already have this in place, and we're not going to get into the SEO side just yet. I don't think that's right for this episode. So the very next thing we're going to do, because now we have a homepage in place, is we're going to go up here to our theme customizer. And what we're going to do is we're going to go into our general settings. We're going to go into our site identity. Nope, wrong one. Wrong one. See, I make mistakes too. We're going to go down here to homepage settings. We're going to choose static page, and then we're going to choose the one that we just created, and we're going to make that our new page. Okay? And it's going to do all of the work automatically for you. All right, pretty cool stuff. So now that's assigned here. Now remember, these are all dummy pages. Okay, these are all dummy pages. So what we want to do now is we want to assign that home page and replace that within its hierarchy, because now we have a home page. So let's go into I always do this from my dashboard. I don't know why, it's just a preference, but I'm going to go ahead and X out of this, and then I'm going to go back into our menu settings and show you the magic. Let's look at the magic. And then I'm going to show you some bad stuff, some stuff that you got to change because the layouts aren't optimized. All right. So I'm going to click here, which is going to take me into my dashboard, or I can click here, either way. So we're going to go into our dashboard. We're going to go down to appearance, and then we're going to choose menus. And then we're going to add this new page that we have. We're going to add that to our menu. So here it is. It doesn't look right. If I click over here into our other instance and I go out to the website, clicking here takes me out to the website. Oops, let me see. If I save that here, so let me save it. Let me go over here and let me refresh this. See how it's showing here as the main thing? I'm not sure I like this purple yet within the menu. If I scroll down, based on our presets, do you remember that we kept everything the same here? So as we scroll down, it gave us all of that information. We have our back to top button that we can click, and it'll take us all the way up to the top, and that pops up. All right, so we've set up a whole bunch of really cool stuff, but let's go back to our menu because we don't like this. We want this over here. We want this to be our home. So let's do that. The very first thing we're going to do is I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to click this drop down, and then the very next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click remove. And then I'm going to click the drop down here, and I'm going to change this navigation label to say home. It automatically does all of this. And then I'm going to drag and drop this up here to the top, and I'm going to click on save menu, and boom, we're done. We're done. Okay. All right, so that's saved. We have our first page pretty much done. We would have to change out all of this, but I'm going to show you something else that you actually have to change out because the images are not optimized, and I'm going to show you that. All right, these images are not optimized from Divi. We're going to go back over here to GT metrics. A link for this will be in the comments or in the description. We're going to go ahead and put in digital Sherpa360.com. And we're going to run this through GT metrics, and it's going to give us some image errors. Must be a lot of people using GT metrics. All right, so it's pulling it up, and oof. See how we already went up here? We already went up here. We're at 96%. See how we're at 86% here? That's all just that automatically happened. How sexy is that? All right, now see how it says, if I click on that drop down right there for optimize images, it tells me what images need to be optimized. Okay, so home office dash 10 dash 1 could save blah blah blah, etc., etc. See optimized version. Okay, so let me go ahead and see what that optimized version looks like. And I'm going to go ahead and save image as, I'm going to say, let's call this Digital Sherpa 360 Marketing. Just as an example, because you're going to create naming, you're going to start branding, you're going to start doing all of these things. So now I have that optimized image there. I'm going to go ahead and save this to my desktop, I think. Yeah, that's a good spot. Doesn't really matter because it's right here. I'm going to go back into here. I realize that it's this image. I'm going to click on Enable Visual Builder. How cool is this? GT Metrics does so much for you for being a free tool. It's wonderful. I'm going to go back down. I'm going to find that image, which was this one. I'm going to click that gear button, and then I'm going to replace this image. Okay. And I'm just going to drag this and drop this here. There it is. I'm going to triple click this because here's my title. I'm going to Control C or Command C on a Mac, Control V, Command V, and I'm going to copy that information right to here. And I'm going to go ahead and upload that image. Now, if you notice, see how it didn't change? All it did was optimize it. Okay. Now let's go back over here and let's save it. Click here, save it. I'm actually not even going to do it that way. Let's go ahead and find the other image because losslessly compressing. So here's another one with a 22% reduction. This is the logo, optimized version, Divi. So we're not going to do anything with that right now because I'm going to show you how to create a logo in a different video and do a quick and easy and how do we do this and blah, blah, blah. So the very next thing I'm going to do, so 96 and 88, 96 and 88. I still don't have the CDN up there, expiry headers, etc. I'm going to go ahead and retest this. Remember, 96 and 88, 96 and 88. How brilliant is this? 96, is it still going to be 96? Oh, we're almost there. We're almost there. 98. Our page speed score is a 98. Oh my goodness. We have a website here. People talk about page speed and how important that is. They're also going to talk about how Divi doesn't do it for you, and it's how slow it is and how bloated and all of that other stuff, and just say, hey, do me a favor. Run my site through GT metrics or run my site through those page speed tests and tell me if you would do anything different. They won't bother you anymore. All right, so now we have this here. We're not going to change this in this video, and we have all of our stuff here. This looks pretty good. Change whatever wording you want here. Change wording wherever to whatever you want all over the place. And you've got a website. You're in business. It's coded to your colors, et cetera, et cetera. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and X out of this. I'm going to save it just one more time. I'm going to go ahead and once it's done, at the end of every edit, you're going to purge all your caches. All right, there it is. Now, if we go into edit the page here, we can create our other assets. Let's talk about what else is important. Let's look at our SEO score. It'll pop up here in a second. So we're at a 73 out of 100. What's missing? All we did was basic design elements. We need to set a featured image. We'll need to create that featured image. That should be a 1920 by 1080 image. We're going to go down here where it shows what are the other problems. We only have 192 words. We would want, they say 300 words. I don't know that that's necessary. Tell the story you want people to read. Keyword density is 0.52. We want that to be 1 to 3%. We want to change our focus keyword is not found in an H2, H3, etc. So we would want to restate our focus keyword, which is the name of our company. And what else? I mean, this is pretty good stuff. So we're already kind of there. So let's go ahead. Title readability. Focus keyword doesn't appear at the beginning of the SEO title. We don't want that to happen. All right. Or we could, we could actually let's do that. So let's go here and let's say digital marketing Sherpa, or I'm sorry, digital Sherpa 360. Digital, see, I'm already screwing that up. Sherpa 360. And then let's use piping because we like piping. And then marketing agency defined. The very next thing we're going to do is go here and we're going to delete that out. We're back in the green and we have corrected this issue. Did that raise our score? See, now we're in the green. We're 81 out of 100. Not bad. Not bad. Let's go ahead and update that. We're still in the green, 81. We have one additional error here. See what that is? Focus keyword not found in subheadings like H2, H3, H4, etc. So let's go back and let's fix that problem. We're going to do it on the front end. Now you can do all of this stuff on the back end, okay? But it's a little bit tougher. You have to start naming your modules and do all kinds of stuff so that you can find them. We're just going to click on build on the front end and let's go ahead and add digital Sherpa 360 somewhere on the page, and it's going to show green, further green, etc., etc. I don't know how to fix I wouldn't worry about fixing. I know how to fix it, but I wouldn't worry about fixing the length of the content. All right, so let's find something here. Let's assume, let's see. Let's start something new. Where are we going to add our stuff? Let's say here. This is probably going to be an H tag, okay? So I screwed something up. I don't want you to see that feature within Divi. So here, I'm going to click on the gear. Our latest work, that's an H2 tag. I'm going to change that to digital Sherpa 360 latest work. All right, now here's the secret. You want to put digital Sherpa 360 if you want to rank for it. The secret from Google is you want to mention this 3 times, at least 3 times. So we're going to go ahead and save this. We're not going to do that here. We're going to click on edit our page. It's going to take us back into the back end of that page. And we're at a 90 out of 100. You see that? 90 out of 100. Okay? 90 out of 100. Not quite 100 out of 100. Additional one error. What is this one? We are searching in database. Okay? We haven't set up Google. So we haven't indexed this page. So it's going to go up even more as soon as we index this page and everything's good to go. And we've updated Google Sitekit, et cetera, et cetera. Now, that's all I got for you on this episode. Here's how you build a page. We want to set that featured image, but we're going to do that when we start talking about design assets in a different video. We're going to talk about designing a logo. We're going to start talking about featured images. We're going to start talking about all of this other stuff. But I just showed you how easy it is to create a template, pick a template, use that template, and get pretty good SEO scores. I mean, granted, there's other tools that we use, but you just created a homepage with a tutorial in less than 50 minutes with page speeds that are freaking amazing, right? 98%. If I go back and I retest, I'm not going to walk you through this test. You can test this stuff all day long. You just created a fast page that looks pretty damn cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and save. Again, last thing we do is we always clear our cache after we're done. I'm going to close this video out. I'm going to click on view page. Make sure that everything looks good. You can literally just change out the information here. Walk through, stop the video if you need to. This looks pretty damn cool. I could change this to black. I would probably change this to black here just because it contrasts, and then at the same time, it's not so bright. It looks a little bit too bright for me. But it literally, you just created a page in no time. You can create this entire site in a day. And you just made $1,500 to $2,500. I don't know, maybe you charge more. I wouldn't charge less than $1,500. All right, hit the subscribe button. I'm going to close this out. I appreciate you watching. Hit us up with comments. I love constructive feedback. What do you want to see? I can show you some really cool tricks with CSS, how to do inspect elements, how to do some really cool design features. I want to know what you want. And I'm going to keep pushing these videos out. Again, there will be an affiliate link for Divi in the description. And I would appreciate it if this is something that interests you, and this is how you're going to build your digital side and your creative side, which is a real popular way to do it. Click through to the affiliate side, and we get a few dollars out of it, and that makes all of this a little bit more worth it. So thanks. We'll see you on the next one. The next one should be design, logo design. So look that up, and we're going to talk about logos and design assets and all kinds of stuff. Thanks for showing up.